Hi everyone! For painting playtime today, I want to try a multi-step project involving wrapping watercolor paper onto a used frame, painting it, and then waxing and buffing it. You will need a small frame, a waterproof surface and a mop brush, a manual heavy-duty stapler, Dorland's wax medium, and your own watercolor paints. I was having microphone difficulties, and so I ended up having to film without a microphone. I didn't know it at the time, and I was speaking, so what I'm doing and what I'm saying might not totally match up until about the middle of the video. Here I'm showing you this frame that I got from Goodwill for $1.49. I'm taking out the staplers with a staple remover, and it's proving to be pretty difficult. So I reached out and got my needle nose pliers to pull the staples out. So I loosen with the staple remover and then pull it out with the pliers. I thought maybe slicing it and ripping it off would work better, but that didn't work. So I just kept going in the same manner. It was really easy to slip with that staple remover, and I ended up breaking a nail, which hurt. So I tested my stapler on this MDF board stuff, my regular office stapler, and it worked fine. I have the paper cut to a couple of inches around the perimeter over the size of the frame so that it will be sure and wrap around the frame. I'm using a piece of acrylic for the waterproof surface, and I've wet both sides of the watercolor paper. More water just to make sure that it's really pliable. And now I'm going to go ahead and wrap the first side. Staple. And it doesn't work. So it worked on the MDF by itself, but the staples wouldn't go through the watercolor paper. Still not working. I thought, well, maybe I'm just not doing it right. But then no, it won't go through the watercolor paper. So I got out my husband's electric staple gun and gave it a try, and it seemed to work okay at first. The paper is staying and the staple went through. So I'm going to try the other side. And it just completely malfunctions. I don't like this thing. It's heavy. The staples just were bouncing out. So I went out to the store and got this little stapler, something in between the big heavy duty and the office stapler, and it worked great. So onward. It feels like it's starting to dry, so I have my spritzer ready to keep everything nice and wet. If the paper becomes dry, you might rip it, and I didn't want to rip it. Not really sure how to do the corners. I watched a couple of videos about how to wrap, and it just felt really awkward. I decided to go ahead and just finish stapling the edges. A lot of this is trial and error. This is why I chose a small frame and a small piece of paper so that I wouldn't have a lot of waste in case it didn't work out. Okay, now the corners. I'm really trying to be careful so that I don't rip the corner. I've watched a couple of videos on how to wrap the corner and it just doesn't seem to be working. Okay, so I figured it out. Now I'm going to show you how to do corners the way that I did them. I'm not really happy with how they came out. They're kind of bulky. I'm thinking if I do this again, I would probably cut off a triangle and the tip of each corner, just so there's less material to work with. So I ended up just folding it down on the corner, folding in each side, and stapling. You can see it's a little bit wonky, but I decided to just go ahead and do the rest of it like this, just to move on to the next step. Because this isn't anything that I'm keeping, it's just a playtime kind of experiment, and I want to learn. Oops, sorry, it's off screen. I was having a lot of difficulties with this. It was very cumbersome, and I was having microphone problems and filming problems. And I was like, maybe I should just not do this video. But I thought, no, I'm not going to give up. I am going to win. Fold in the corner, fold in the edge, and fold in the other edge. That staple didn't go in quite right, so just take it out if that happens and do it again. The back is not going to be pretty. It's kind of dirty, and I was a little concerned about that edge you see there, how the frame is showing through. I couldn't tell if it was just showing through or if it was dirty. So I'm just going to set it down and let it dry. I wanted something cute and easy to paint onto this stretched watercolor paper on a frame, and I put in watercolor sketchbook ideas on YouTube. And of course, Andrea Nelson came up, and she has this really cute little short on how to do hearts. And so she divided up her sketchbook page into equal parts, equal rectangles, and I'll show you what she did. I'm going to link her short in the description below, and you can go ahead and watch her. She's going to do much better. I just want something on here so that I can demonstrate the next thing I'm going to do to this. I keep wanting to call it a canvas, to this water paper thing. So I'm going to start with, not sure what this is. This is permanent alizarin crimson, and she made some hearts. One heart in each box. She claims everyone can make a heart. I guess I can. There you go. And I want to put different colors in there. Make the hearts a little two-toned. I think I'll do a purple one. I'm going to go ahead and speed up this process because it's just me painting hearts. That was just some clear water to create some backgrounds. So this is dry, and I love how they dried with the backgrounds. So now I'm going to do the background just like she did, and she mixed a little bit of the heart shape with another color. So that they will play nicely. I love her videos. I'm not really sure what to do about the edge. I think I'll just go ahead and fill it in with whatever I'm doing on the front. Okay, that's good. And now some purple. And I think I'll add some of this cobalt teal blue. All the way around the heart and then fill in the background. Oh, I like that color. I know that you can go and find Andrea Nelson and learn how to do this. Like I said before, I just want something to put on this stretched piece of paper so that I can demonstrate how to do the wax. Well, not demonstrate, experiment how to do the wax. So now you kind of get the idea. I'm going to turn this off and finish it up, and then I'll come back. So I got this on clearance at Michael's, and I know that a lot of watercolor artists use this Dorland's wax medium on watercolors that they're not going to frame, that they've wrapped on a canvas or put on a cradle board that isn't going to go behind glass. So I've always been curious about it, and so when I saw this on clearance, I went ahead and bought it. So I'm going to take this tape off. That's the fun part. Okay, I have a paper towel, and I've got a little bit of the wax. Can you tell? Just a little chunk. And I'm going to just go for it. You cannot see. I just see waxy swirls. And a little more. I can feel when it runs out. I'm going to go over the whole. I'm just going to get a big chunk. Now it says on the directions to put it on and then wait 24 hours, and then you can buff it and make it. It says for a matte finish. So I don't know, maybe I'm not supposed to use a paper towel because it looks streaky. Edge. Ooh, a whole bunch came off. I wish this was showing up for you because it's you can see the texture in the wax. So I thought maybe I should just use a piece of t-shirt. I always have old t-shirts laying around, so I'm going to try that. I like that it's not making any of the pigment run or anything, because I've kind of heard that that could happen. I am not graceful. It's not very easy to do. Okay, let it get to a drier side. This side doesn't have any wax on it. And I'll just kind of get extra off. That looks pretty good. Okay, going in circles is a much better than going side to side. And now I think I'm just gonna let it sit until tomorrow. And we'll polish it up. All right, it's the next day, and this has a really interesting feel to it. It's still kind of matte, and it still just looks like watercolor paper. It doesn't have a shine. You probably can't tell the difference on the camera. So I got a clean piece of t-shirt, and I think I'm going to try and buff it. Just try this one square. Oh, I can see it getting shiny. And the t-shirt's still clean. Can you see the difference? Oh, there it is. Compared to nothing here. So that's pretty shiny. That looks really neat. It has not been 24 hours. I got impatient and I wanted to see what would happen. Um, let's see, it's been about 12 hours. I did this last night, and now it's about 9 o'clock in the morning. Can you see that shine? And then look at the blue. There's no shine. So that was it for today. I'm not going to make you watch me buff out some waxed watercolor paper. But if you give this a try, I would love to see what you do. I'm on Jennifer Broussard Art on Facebook and jenniferbroussard.art on Instagram. If you want to share, you can tag me. Have a great day and have fun with this, and thanks for watching.